And school zones are always usually 15 miles an hour. Neighborhoods always usually 25 miles an hour. Highways are usually 50 or 55. But remember, every state can set up different parameters. You can't say, well, I'm from Texas, so our speed limit is this, but you in California. Or I'm in Mexico and I'm used to driving in California. So ignorance is no excuse, and many of you will be driving in different areas around the country, and knowledge is power. So give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to share some information with you. Again, this is not Google Scholar, but I'm just giving you a perspective of what's going on. States are cracking down on speeders for several key reasons by the desire to improve road safety. We always want people to live. Your age group tends to speed at a higher rate than a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old. Okay, states are cracking down on speeders for several key reasons, driven by the desire to improve road safety, reduce the significance of negative impacts of excessive speed. One, since COVID-19, you guys were in fifth or sixth grade or fourth grade. Many people were speeding. I taught during COVID. I did driver's ed during COVID. And Mr. Bryan also did driver's ed during COVID. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students who fell behind. They shut down everything. People were getting on the highway doing 100, 150. I remember seeing a state police officer on I-94 and people were doing 150 miles an hour. I was with my daughter, my SRT Jeep. We were doing 75. They were doing 125 miles an hour because you guys weren't able to drive then, but your older brothers and sisters were. Next, in 2021, over 43,000 people were killed in motor vehicle accidents. Okay, so something happened in 2021 that's post-COVID, okay? You guys still weren't at the age to drive. While preliminary estimates in 2023 show a decrease in the number remaining high of pre-pandemic levels. This is why we have this online class. Speeding is the major contributing factor that plays a role in approximately 1/3 of all traffic deaths. So the faster you go, the more likely you are to crash. Number two, higher speed limits significantly increase the force of impact. You can't stop. A deer comes out. A car backs out. Someone is doing a U-turn. This exponentially increases the kinetic energy. So meaning your speed is increased by an exponent. This means you're going to die. Head-on collisions are the most dangerous. At higher speeds, the effectiveness of safety features like airbags and seatbelts is reduced. So even if you have your seatbelt on an airbag, you still could likely die. Next, reduce reaction time. Speeders lessen the driver's ability to react. It also increases the distance needed to slow down. If you're at 70, it takes a certain amount of time to slow down. If you're at 80, it takes a certain amount of speed to slow down. If you're at 90, it takes a certain, and on and on and on. People go at a speed they feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable 100, you're going to drive 100, and everyone else is doing 70. You're 30 miles over the speed limit, you deserve to get your car and license taken away and get arrested. Economic costs, speed-related crashes impose a substantial financial burden on society. You ask about the insurance company. If the insurance companies are paying out claims because you killed someone, they're going to raise your prices. And then the federal government may raise their rates too. So it goes hand in hand. So if everyone started speeding, insurance costs would go up. And then court costs would go up. So it would have a negative effect. All drivers don't speed. So maybe as a beginner driver, you're like, man, half people doing 30 over the limit. I'm going to do 30. Well, when 25 of you get pulled over, they can't catch everyone, but they're going to catch enough people. And you're like, man, they almost caught me, bro. We saw a young kid get pulled over I-94. He was doing about 85 passing us. The police officer was in the left lane. He turned on those lights, zoop, pulled him over. That kid was crying. Also, dangerous super speeders. There are more super speeders today. Increased law enforcement. States are putting in money. States are conducting dedicated speed enforcement. They had those fast Chargers, those fast Hellcats, those fast Mustangs. You think you can outrun them? They're going to get the chopper in the sky, and they're going to pull you over, and then you're going to be arrested, and then you're going to be crying because you're in mama's car. You can't afford a Hellcat or a Charger or a Trackhawk. Lawmakers are considering implementing requirements for habitual speeders. I support that. Technology solutions. The National Transportation Safety recommends making intelligible speed-assisted technology standard for all cars. Road design changes. We talked about this. Implementing measures like roundabouts, narrow roads, speed bumps to encourage slower speeds. Educational campaigns. You're here in driver's ed. Promoting awareness of the dangers of speeding. I like this because this is pretty educational. We gave you some good information. I'm not going to overwhelm you. It kind of gives you a good perspective. So post-pandemic, people speed. Your brother or sister who's in their mid-20s, early 20s, they took driver's ed. They were just finished with the pandemic. Their instructor had a mask on. I was one of those instructors. Mr. Bryant was probably one of those instructors. We had to have a mask on in our car and a shield and sanitize the steering wheel. Those young teens are now 23, 24, 25, 27. So they look at driving very differently than you. And I think that's really important that you continue to work. So these are some frequently asked questions. Okay, the fatality rate has increased in California. It says Los Angeles is the epicenter of car accidents.